Welcome to Decoded Daily. This episode is brought to you by Idea Data. Want to stay ahead of the curve in AI, tech, and new markets? Join thousands of professionals from Fortune 500 companies like IBM, MetLife, Amazon, and more who get smarter with Idea Data's newsletter. The link is in the show notes. It's funny how we always talk about the future like it's this far-off thing, but honestly, with all the crazy tech advancements happening right now, the future is practically knocking on our door. Today, we're going on a deep dive into 3 areas where that's especially true. AI assistants that are way smarter than just playing your favorite tunes, flying cars that are about to become a reality,
Wow.
and this whole new frontier of emerging tech that's about to change, well, everything.
What's fascinating is how quickly we've moved from "wouldn't it be cool if" to companies actually building factories for flying cars.
Right? We've got articles from Mashable, IoT World Today, Stardust Insights, Tech Bullion, CCN.com, even Campus Technology, all pointing to the fact that the future is getting a lot closer than we think. So buckle up, because we're about to explore some seriously mind-bending stuff. First up, AI assistants. Remember when they were basically just glorified voice search? Ask a question, get a robotic answer, that's it.
Those early versions were really limited. They could handle basic tasks, but anything more complex was beyond their capabilities.
But now, hold on to your hats, folks, because things are getting wild. Mashable reports that Google's developing an AI that can actually browse the web, shop online, and even book your entire vacation. Seriously, imagine telling your AI, hey, I'm feeling burnt out, book me a trip to Hawaii next month, something relaxing by the beach. And just like that, it finds the best deals, picks flights that match your preferences, books the perfect beachfront hotel, boom. You're practically sipping Mai Tais already.
It's a huge leap from simple tasks to managing complex, multi-step processes. Think about what that means for industries like travel and hospitality. It's not just about convenience, it's about AI stepping into a whole new role, almost like a personal concierge.
Okay, that's impressive enough. But then we have fly-flying cars. Remember those futuristic movies we all grew up with? Well, IoT World Today reports that one company is actually building a manufacturing plant to pump out 10,000 flying cars a year. Not prototypes, not concept cars, actual production models.
This isn't some sci-fi fantasy anymore. It's a clear signal that the technology is mature enough for mass production. But think about the ripple effects. We're going to need a complete overhaul of air traffic management, new safety regulations, and a whole new way of thinking about urban planning. I mean, where do these things even land? What happens to my parking spot? Does it become a landing pad?
Right, suddenly, our cities look completely different. It makes you wonder how real estate values will shift, how commutes will change, even how our skylines will be transformed. Talk about a future shock.
It's both exciting and a bit daunting, isn't it? But the future is rarely a smooth, predictable ride. It's messy, it's disruptive, and that's what makes it so fascinating.
Absolutely. And speaking of disruptive, there's this whole other area of emerging tech that we need to talk about. DePIN, or Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. I'll be honest, I hadn't heard of this until CCN.com brought it to my attention, and it kind of blew my mind.
DePIN is one of those under-the-radar concepts with huge potential. Think of it like this. Imagine a network of devices, say smartphones or electric vehicle charging stations, all connected and sharing resources directly with each other, without relying on any central authority, kind of like how Helium built its decentralized network of internet hotspots.
So instead of relying on big companies or governments to provide things like internet access or energy, we could have these peer-to-peer networks where devices share resources directly.
Exactly, and the implications are massive, especially for areas with limited infrastructure. Imagine a remote village getting high-speed internet through a DePIN network of smartphones. Or imagine electric car owners being able to sell excess energy from their car batteries back to the grid during peak hours. It's about democratizing access to essential resources.
Wow, that's a game changer. It almost sounds too good to be true. What are some of the challenges?
Well, one of the biggest hurdles is ensuring security and reliability in a decentralized system. You're essentially relying on a network of individual devices to maintain the integrity of the whole system.
That makes sense. It's like the old saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. But if they can crack that nut, the potential is incredible.
Absolutely, and it ties into a larger trend we're seeing with AI as well. The shift from AI simply completing tasks to AI becoming more autonomous and agentic.
Agentic AI.
Okay.
Oh, you've officially piqued my curiosity.
Think about the AI assistant we talked about earlier, the one that can book your entire vacation. Now imagine that AI taking things a step further. It's not just booking your trip. It's proactively suggesting destinations based on your past travel history and preferences. It's negotiating meeting times with other people's AI agents, optimizing your itinerary based on real-time traffic data, and even recommending local experiences you might enjoy. It's like having a super efficient personal assistant who's always one step ahead.
So it's not just doing what we tell it to do. It's anticipating our needs and making decisions on our behalf. It's both impressive and a little unnerving, right?
It is. Publications like Campus Technology and Tech News World are highlighting agentic AI as one of the top tech trends for 2025. And it raises some big questions. How much control are we comfortable giving up? How do we ensure these AI agents act in our best interest? It's a whole new frontier. And it's going to require us to think carefully about the relationship between humans and machines.
Okay, so we've got AI booking our trips, flying cars hitting the skies, and deepen, potentially changing how we access essential resources. It's a lot to wrap our heads around, but one thing's for sure, the future is looking pretty wild.
Wild, unpredictable, and full of possibilities, and that's what makes it so exciting to explore.
Absolutely. So what else is on the horizon in this new frontier of tech? Let's talk about how technology is transforming the places we live and work in. Stardust Insights has a fascinating report called Property Technology, 10 Innovations to Watch in 2025 and Beyond. And it's not just about smart homes. This is about how technology is reshaping entire cities.
That's right. Property technology, or PropTech as it's often called, is revolutionizing everything from construction and building management to the way we design and interact with our urban environments.
It's like the line between the physical and digital worlds is blurring. And our cities are becoming these living, breathing organisms powered by technology.
Exactly. Think about the possibilities when you combine AI with smart buildings. You could have buildings that learn your preferences and adjust lighting, temperature, or even music to create your ideal environment. We could see buildings that optimize energy consumption based on real-time usage patterns, reducing our environmental impact. We could even have buildings that predict and respond to potential maintenance issues before they become major problems.
So it's not just about making our homes more convenient. It's about making our cities smarter, more efficient, and more sustainable.
Precisely. And that's just scratching the surface. We're seeing innovations in construction materials, 3D printing of buildings, and the use of sensors and data analytics to create safer and more responsive urban spaces.
It's mind-blowing to think about how much our cities could change in the next few years, all thanks to technology.
It is, and it highlights how interconnected all these technological advancements are. AI, DeepIn, PropTech. They're not separate trends. They're all part of a larger wave of innovation that's transforming our world in profound ways.
It's like a chain reaction. Each new technology sparking another, leading to even more incredible breakthroughs.
Exactly. And that's why it's so crucial to stay informed and engaged. The future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we actively create.
Well said. So as we delve deeper into this new frontier of tech, I'm curious, what are some of the key trends shaping the landscape right now?
One trend that's impossible to ignore is the growing importance of cybersecurity. As our world becomes more connected and reliant on digital systems, the threat of cyber attacks is growing exponentially. Companies and governments are investing heavily in cybersecurity measures to protect sensitive data and critical infrastructure.
It seems like every other day there's a new story about a data breach or a ransomware attack. It's definitely a concern.
Absolutely. And it's only going to become more critical as we integrate more and more technology into our lives and cities. Another trend that's gaining momentum is the rise of edge computing.
Edge computing. Okay. I've heard the term, but I'm not entirely sure what it means.
In a nutshell, edge computing is about bringing computation and data storage closer to the source of the data, often at the edge of the network. It's different from cloud computing, where data is processed in centralized data centers. With edge computing, you're processing data right there on the device or at a nearby server, which is much faster and more efficient for certain applications.
So instead of sending data all the way to the cloud, you're handling it locally. That makes sense, especially for things that need real-time processing, like self-driving cars or industrial robots.
Exactly. And it opens up possibilities for new applications that wouldn't be feasible with traditional cloud computing models. For example, in healthcare, edge computing can enable real-time monitoring of patient data and faster diagnosis and treatment.
That's incredible. It feels like we're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible with technology.
We are. And it's important to remember that these advancements are not happening in isolation. They're interconnected and often build upon each other. For example, the rise of edge computing is closely tied to the growth of the Internet of Things, IoT. where billions of devices are connected and generating vast amounts of data.
It's like a chain reaction, each innovation sparking new possibilities and leading to even more breakthroughs.
Precisely. And that's what makes this such an exciting time to be following the world of technology. We're on the verge of a new era where the lines between the physical and digital worlds continue to blur, and the possibilities seem almost limitless.
So with all these incredible technologies emerging, what skills or knowledge do you think will be most valuable in the years to come? What should our listeners be focusing on if they want to stay ahead of the curve?
That's a crucial question. While it's impossible to predict the future with certainty, there are certain skills and areas of knowledge that are likely to be in high demand. Firstly, a strong foundation in STEM fields: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics will be essential. These are the building blocks of so much of the technology we're talking about.
That makes sense. But beyond technical skills, what else is important?
Well, critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity will be equally important. As AI and automation take over routine tasks, the ability to think critically, analyze information, and come up with innovative solutions will be highly valued.
So it's not just about coding, it's about being able to adapt, learn, and think outside the box.
Precisely. And I would add that strong communication and collaboration skills will also be crucial. As technology becomes more complex and interconnected, the ability to communicate effectively and work collaboratively across disciplines will be essential for success.
Great points. So it sounds like the key is to be a lifelong learner, to embrace new challenges, and to be willing to constantly adapt and evolve.
Absolutely. In this rapidly changing world, the ability to learn and adapt is perhaps the most valuable skill of all.
Well said. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. From AI assistants and flying cars to DePIN, prep tech, cybersecurity, and edge computing. It's clear that we're living in an era of unprecedented technological advancement, and the pace of change is only accelerating.
It is indeed a time of great transformation, and the implications of these advancements are far-reaching. It's up to us to engage with these technologies thoughtfully, to harness their potential for good, and to navigate the challenges they present.
Well said. And as always, we want to hear from our listeners. What are your thoughts on these emerging technologies? What excites you the most? What concerns you? Join the conversation on social media and share your perspectives.
We'd love to hear your insights. And remember, the future is not something that happens to us, it's something we create. By staying informed, engaged, and curious, we can all play a role in shaping the world of tomorrow.
Absolutely. We'll be back after a quick message to delve even deeper into these mind-blowing advancements. Stay tuned.
We were discussing how property technology, or prop tech as it's often called, is revolutionizing the way we design and interact with our urban environments.
I love that term, prop tech.
Yeah.
It sounds futuristic and captures how tech is blending with our physical spaces.
It is a pretty snappy term, right? And it really gets at how tech is changing not just individual buildings, but entire cities.
We talked about buildings learning our preferences and optimizing energy use, but what about the bigger picture? How does prop tech change the way cities function?
One of the most exciting areas is using data and sensors to create smarter, more efficient urban infrastructure. Imagine traffic lights that adjust in real time based on traffic flow, reducing congestion and emissions.
That would be a dream come true for anyone who's ever been stuck in rush hour traffic.
Right. Or think about garbage bins that alert sanitation crews when they're full, optimizing waste collection routes, and making cities cleaner.
It sounds like prop tech could help us tackle some of the major challenges cities face, from pollution to overcrowding.
Exactly. It's about using technology to make cities more livable, sustainable, and resilient. And it's not just about efficiency. It's about creating more engaging and enjoyable urban experiences.
Speaking of engaging experiences, we've talked a lot about how technology is changing the way we live and work. But what about how we learn and play? What's happening in the world of education and entertainment?
That's a fascinating area. We're seeing a convergence of technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence, creating entirely new ways to learn and experience the world.
It's like stepping into those sci-fi movies where you can put on a headset and suddenly you're exploring ancient Rome, or learning a new language through immersive simulations.
It's not that far off. In education, VR and AR can transport students to historical events, bring abstract concepts to life, and personalize learning experiences.
So instead of just reading about the solar system, you could actually put on a VR headset and fly through the rings of Saturn.
Exactly. It's about making learning more engaging, immersive, and fun. And AI can play a role too by providing personalized feedback, and adapting to each student's individual learning style.
That's amazing. And what about entertainment? How are these technologies changing the way we consume media and experience culture?
The lines between the physical and digital worlds are blurring in entertainment too. We're seeing immersive theater experiences that combine live performance with AR projections, video games that feel like you're stepping into another world, and interactive museums that bring history to life.
It's like the possibilities are endless. We're no longer just passive consumers of entertainment. We're active participants shaping our own experiences.
Exactly, and that's what's so exciting about this convergence of technologies. It's about empowering us to learn, play, and experience the world in ways we never thought possible.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today. From AI assistants and flying cars to DePIN, prop tech, cybersecurity, edge computing, and even the future of education and entertainment. It's mind-blowing to think about how much our world could change in the next few years, all thanks to technology.
It is a time of rapid change, and the pace of innovation is only accelerating. But one thing's for sure, the future isn't something that just happens to us, it's something we actively create.
That's a powerful message. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the new frontier of tech, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to leave with?
I would say the most important thing is to embrace a mindset of curiosity and lifelong learning. The future belongs to those who are willing to adapt, learn new skills, and stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. We need to be proactive in shaping the future we want to see by staying informed, engaging with these new technologies, and using our voices to guide their development.
Exactly. We all have a role to play in ensuring that technology is used for good, and that its benefits are shared widely.
Well said. Okay, so on that note, it's time for us to wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive.
It's been a pleasure exploring these fascinating topics with you and our listeners.
Want to stay ahead in AI and tech? Try Idea Data. Join thousands of professionals in AI, tech, and business from Fortune 500 companies like IBM, MetLife, Amazon, and more. Get smarter on AI, tech, and new markets with our newsletter. The link is in the show notes. We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the future of technology. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.